Hello everyone, my name is Hexxium, or Andrew Gildner as you guys know me. Now I might sound a little bit different in this video, but that's because I have a really serious topic to bring to you guys, and I'm using my camera as you can see, so this microphone isn't as close to my mouth as it normally would be when I'm making a commentary like this. Today guys, I want to discuss with you the details about one of my friends, somebody who I used to live literally like 2 houses down from the last few years. Like 3 years ago, I lived literally like 2 houses down from them, and they are an amazing person. You know, I used to go to school with this person, and their name is Laura Scott. And I found out recently, about a month ago, reading on Facebook whenever I had friended her because I realized that she had a Facebook, you know, all the medical issues that she has and what happened to her. And I asked her exactly what happened, and she shared her story with me. And because I heard that story, you know, what I hear when I hear what happens, I want to help her. You know, I want to do everything I can with this amazing fan base. You guys that are watching this video, you guys can help. And I want to help, you know. I want to try to save people, help people as much as I can. And Laura deserves this help, guys. She's an amazing girl, you know, she really is. So today I'm going to share with you her video, guys. Now I'm sorry if you're just a gaming kind of person who only likes gaming kind of videos, and if you want to dislike this video, whatever. If you want to be an asshole, okay? We really don't care. But she's going to share with you her life story. And at the end of this video, even in the description right now, there is a link that you can go and you can donate to support her and help her pay these medical bills that she has after you hear the story or before the story, whenever you want to do it. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. We get that, you know. We understand that if money's tight or whatever, but if you can help her, you know. It's not going to go at all to me. All the proceeds, everything that goes down in that link down there in the description, at the very top of my description, will go directly to her, to help her and her medical bills with her family. Now I know that I don't have the biggest fan base here, so those of you guys watching this video, if you have a kind heart, if you want to help a girl who's amazing and cares so much about everybody else, if you want to help save a life and just make somebody's life better, then help me spread the word about this video. Anybody who wants to help has the permission to take this video and upload it to their channel as well. And if they need it, I can send it. I'll put a download link in the description as well for this video so you can share it and upload it to your channels to help out. The more help we can get with this, guys, share this link around. Not for my channel, but to help her. Let's save a life, guys. We have the power to do that. I love you guys. Here is her story, and I'll see you guys in another video coming soon. Hexxium out.
I'm Laura, and I'm 16 years old, and I have systemic polyarthritic rheumatoid arthritis, as well as the Still's disease and MAS, which stands for macrophage activation syndrome. Rheumatoid arthritis is a genetic disease, autoimmune disease, that just kind of comes from from your bad genes. I happen to have it on both sides of my family, and happen to be the one kid of 3 that got all of it and just got screwed, basically. It is an autoimmune disease, meaning that my immune system is compromised. It doesn't work the same that everybody else's does. It doesn't work as well. I get sick really easily, and catching a common cold turns into the flu, and the flu turns into a severe, illness. It just kind of, this is worse than what it should be, basically. And this disease is basically just kind of a go off of arthritis that just kind of makes you really stiff, and you just tend to stay. You don't want to move. You're still because it hurts. MAS is rare. There are 8 other children, aside from myself, that have been diagnosed with MAS. There are probably a whole lot others that died without being properly diagnosed because of MAS. MAS is a blood-borne disease that is kind of like arthritis, but for the rest of your body. It attacks major organs, it makes you exhausted, it just generally screws you inside and out. And if left untreated, which like I said, there's probably lots of other kids that have died from it, left untreated, it kills you, and very quickly. I myself almost died from it. That's how I got diagnosed. It is caused from mono. Mono, contrary to popular belief, is not passed through, I mean it is, but it's not only passed through kissing. It's an airborne disease. You could be around somebody, have them cough, have them have mono, and you contract mono. It's also, you don't always show symptoms. So it's very easily passed. And left undiagnosed, gets into the bone marrow, and can develop into MAS. It's not a common thing that it does, but it is something that does happen. And it happened to me. In October, I started developing signs of the arthritis. At the time we didn't know that. It was rashes and they didn't hurt at the moment, but they just kind of covered my body, and then they began to hurt after a month or so, I guess probably 2 months. I went to the doctors and they prescribed me scabies medication, which is lice for the rest of your body. It made it worse. It made the rash worse, and by this time I had joint pains and headaches and fevers, and I felt sick to my stomach, and I was exhausted. I couldn't pay attention in school. I was coming home early from school because I just hurt that much. And they sent me to the dermatologist because they said, oh, it's probably something that it's like skin, because it's a rash, so it's probably something to do with your skin. Your skin's having a weird reaction or whatever. So they did a punch biopsy, which is where they go down and take out a section of your skin, and they go do a biopsy on it to find out what's wrong. And the results came back inconclusive. So they had no idea what was wrong with me, and then they said, okay, well, we're gonna send you down to the allergist in Helen DeVos. Turns out he wasn't connected to DeVos at all, but they sent me down there, and he's like, oh, well, it's not an allergy. You're not allergic to something, it's not hives, that's for sure. And which is what they thought. The dermatologist was like, it's probably hives, but we don't really know. The allergist was like, no, it's not hives. It's not hives. Can't be, because it's not an allergy. Then, by that time, my joint pains were so bad that I could hardly go to school. And when we were at the allergist, my wrist would hurt so incredibly bad, I could not move it. Like, I couldn't move it whatsoever. We were icing it, trying heat, trying everything, and it just would not help. Even not moving it, like just holding it perfectly still, it hurt beyond belief. It took like soaking it in hot water to just calm it down enough that I could actually go to sleep. And then we went to the emergency room at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, which is a phenomenal hospital, by the way. We went down there, and we were in the emergency room, and they did some tests, some blood work tests, and determined, based off those blood tests, that I was very likely having symptoms of severe rheumatoid arthritis. Juvenile, RA. It's called RA, juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, because I was at the time 16? 14. They diagnosed me or whatever. No, I guess I was 15. I was 15. I just turned 15. After, a couple months later, I turned 15. I turned 16. I was 15. Okay, I was 15 at the time. Sorry. I'm bad at dates. So they diagnosed me with that, and then I went back up to my pediatrician after having that or whatever, and he looked at my chart and he was like, okay, well, DeVos can't get you in to see their rheumatologist for like 6 months, so we're going to send you to U of M, Michigan, or University of Michigan, and they are going to their rheumatologist. They'll take care of it, whatever, they'll be fine. So we went there, And they told me I was crazy. They said your arthritis levels are not anywhere near close to having rheumatoid. You're fine. There's nothing wrong with your joints. There's nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head. You're just having panic attacks. You're having anxiety attacks. You are crazy. That's what they do. You're crazy. You don't know. You're just all messed up in the head. It's all in your head. So they gave me anxiety medications, and they're like, once you get your anxiety under control, you'll be fine. All these problems that you're having, the joint pains, the headaches, the fevers, all that jazz, the rash, it'll all go away after you get your anxiety under control. And I was like, no, it's not anxiety. I know it's not anxiety, but they wouldn't listen to me. They're like, no. Okay, so I started taking the anxiety medication, and yes, it helped with my attitude. It helped relax me, but my joint pains were skyrocketing. They weren't getting any better. Nothing was it wasn't any better at all. I was on tramadol for the pain, which is better than aspirin. It's basically an aspirin, but it's a bit stronger. Then I turned 16 in May, and 2 months later, July, I was in the hospital. It started the 13th of July, and I had insane stomach pains. They were so bad that I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to do anything because they just hurt so bad that I just could not focus on anything other than this excruciating pain in my stomach area. Like, you get your stomach's like right here, and then your liver's on this side or this side, I don't remember which, and then your gallbladder's up in this general area beside your liver, and that's where it hurt. It hurt all through here. It was just insane. And we went to, and I had a fever of 104.8, which is extremely high. I went to the emergency room, and they put me on 2 different medications, Tylenol and another one, and told me that it was a fever of an unknown origin, and there was nothing they could do. So they sent me home, gave me Tylenol and all that stuff, said just take this every couple hours and you'll be fine. We did that. My fever did not go down at all. Less than 24 hours later, the stomach pains weren't stopping. My fever was still extremely high, and my dad was like, okay, maybe you're just like, the stomach pains are maybe because you're really hungry. You haven't eaten. So I ate. Didn't help anything. By 10:30 that night, I was on the 14th, something like that. I was in the hospital emergency room again. This time it took until 4 o'clock that morning for them to put me into a hospital room. So all this time from 10 to 4, I was in the emergency room, just excruciating pain and a fever of 104.8, and all they kept doing was giving me more Tylenol. Tylenol is very, very bad for your liver. They did blood tests, discovered my liver was failing. Didn't tell me this, but they knew that my liver was failing, and they continued to give me Tylenol. Tylenol sped up that process of my liver failing. So it was worse. My liver was going to shut down at a much faster rate than if they hadn't given me any Tylenol. 4 o'clock in the morning, they put me into a actual room in the hospital and set me up with a morphine drip. Wouldn't let me eat or anything, so they just gave me this morphine drip and an IV to nourish me. But by 8 o'clock that morning, I was supposed to have a diagnosis, or the doctor was supposed to come and talk to us. He did. It took a while. It took a long while. All day I was going in and out of consciousness because I was on morphine, which is a narcotic. I eventually was told, the doctor came in and said, her liver's failing. What do you want us to do? They weren't going to do anything for me. Liver failure can and often does result in death. They weren't going to do anything. They told my parents that they could give me a morphine drip and let me die in peace. And that's what they were going to do for me. So they sent me, my mom told them to send me to Helen DeVos Children's Hospital, which saved my life. I went down, and within 24 hours they had put me in a coma, done a bone marrow extraction biopsy kind of thing on me, and diagnosed me. For 2 weeks, I was in the hospital. I was in until the end of July. I was in a coma for about a week, almost a week. They are the ones who diagnosed me with the arthritis and MAS and all the other stuff that I have. They helped get me back to where I could actually leave the hospital. It took months of nightly injections and many medications to get me to the point where I can actually function without pain every day. Without them, I'd be dead. I go back down all the time. That's where I go for my doctor visits. I am currently on a new medication that I don't have to take every night. It's an infusion. It causes bruises like that sometimes because my platelets are low. Usually it doesn't, but my platelets are really low at the moment, so I'm bruising very badly. On top of that, they are saving lives every day. They are trying to pioneer a vaccination for mono, because mono is what caused all of this. Normally mono isn't, you can get it and be perfectly fine if you do what the doctors say and stuff, but I didn't know that I had mono. I developed it at some point in time that winter, and when they drew my blood and stuff, they just kept saying, oh, you got the marker for it, it's fine, you're fine. I wasn't fine, I had mono. During that time I developed, when I'd get sick when my joints and stuff were hurting, my throat would burn, like, feel like I had mono. And they'd say, oh no, you're fine. Turns out I'd had mono. The mono left untreated because I was still active. I was still trying to go to school and do all that stuff that I was supposed to. The mono had taken that time and taken advantage of the fact that I have an already suppressed immune system, and gotten inside of my bone marrow, and basically waited until I got sick enough. I caught a cold, I guess, sometime in July. Got sick enough to where that it could go out and just run rampant on my system, and that's where the MAS came from. It's the blood disease. I'm mostly healthy now, but if I get sick or I have some sort of trauma done to my body, the MAS can and will come back, and it will attack my major organs again. The MAS is why my liver shut down. Along with my liver, my gallbladder, my lungs had a sac of fluid around them, my heart, same thing with the lungs, all kinds of horrible things. I have lots of scars from being in the hospital because my veins were so terrible. They had to do a line straight in through my inner thigh because they couldn't get it in on my arm, and I have it's a whole big mess. But the main point is that mono needs a vaccination. Mono has to have some sort of prevention to stop things like this from happening. Not a lot of people know, and my whole thing now is that I want to help get the word out there, to let people know mono is not what we thought it was. It's not something that you can just catch and lay down and drink lots of fluids and be fine. It's so not true. There's so few of us that have MAS and the other similar disease, HLH, that is caused from mono. And not getting vaccinated is the stupidest thing that you can do. You're killing the rest of us. Not getting vaccinated, you can get all kinds of diseases that you're not getting vaccinated for, that the rest of us, the ones with suppressed immune systems and all kinds of the diseases that we have that we can't afford to get sick, you having that, you can pass it to us, and if we get it, we die. End of story. We don't have that whole, we can't get better like you can. It's not an option. And if we can, it takes a very long time, and it's very painful. Get vaccinated. Get the word out there that MAS needs a vaccination, so that, or not MAS, I meant mono. Mono needs a vaccination so that we don't have more kids like me and the 8 other children that have the disease. We have to stop it sometime. Vaccinations are very, very important, and mono needs to be one of those vaccinated. And be conscious of what you're doing, because what you do doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody else too. You may not want people telling you what to do, may not want to be told you have to get a vaccination, and yeah, you don't have to get a vaccination, but you should. It keeps the rest of us who can't afford to get sick safe, because I can't get vaccinations. I can't. I've had vaccinations in the past before I was sick. I had certain vaccinations, but now I can't get any vaccinations. I can't have a virus, dead or alive, put into my body. So I can't. You may want to be like, oh, well, why don't you just go get vaccinated? I can't. My immune system doesn't work like that. I can't be vaccinated. And having my whole family vaccinated doesn't help either, because they can be vaccinated, but I can't stay in my house 24/7. I'm still exposed to the outside world, and the outside world isn't completely vaccinated. Not everybody's vaccinated for the things that they should be. Whooping cough is going around. It's crazy. Again, all these other diseases that people weren't vaccinated for because they didn't want to be told what to do, or they thought that it caused autism, which it doesn't. And now there's all these people not vaccinated running around exposed to things that they could get sick from, get very, very sick from, and then exposing other people to it. And mono, not everybody experiences symptoms. You may not know you have mono, so you may think you're perfectly fine, and nobody needs to get vaccinated for it, but there needs to be a vaccination for it for people like me. Now I'm stuck with medical bills that I can't pay, that Medicare, Medicaid won't pay for. They'll only pay for so much, and now my family is strapped with loads of medical bills. Being in the hospital alone was well over $100,000 for 2 weeks. And I'm stuck with medical bills for the rest of my life, because some people don't get vaccinated, because there is no vaccination for mono. We're focusing on all kinds of things that, yes, are important, but we need to focus on things that can prevent it as well. I guess that's all I have to say. Thanks.